today's video, we're going to be previewing the Ryder Cup 2023. Marco Simeone, Italy, Europe versus the US. And for me, this is literally the best week of the golfing calendar. I love it. Every 2 years, I am going to be glued to the telly. I just wish I was there, but this time I'm not. But I think for the next one, I'm going to be doing my utmost to get myself there. But you know what? There's also no better view than watching it on the TV. I cannot wait for this week. I want you to comment below who is going to win. And also, I want you to give me your prediction on the US's and Europe's highest point scorers for the week as well. Give me 3 of your highest point scorers for the week from the US and from Team Europe. I'm excited. I've been doing a little bit of research as well, just kind of seeing how the two teams have lined up, and it really does stack in the favour of the US in terms of on paper. So they've got no players outside of the top 25 in the world, whereas Team Europe have got 4 players outside of the top 25. They've obviously got the Ludwig Arberg, who is basically a brand new pro. He's been a pro for like 4 or 5 months. He's world number 80, which is, to be fair, 5 months of being a pro is pretty darn good anyway. We've got Shane Lowry, Justin Rose and Bob McIntyre, who are outside the top 25. You've got no players, as I said already, outside the top 25 for the US. The lowest world ranking, or the highest world ranking, is Justin Thomas, who is 24th. So that's not bad, is it? That's not bad at all. Although he's not had a great season. So it's interesting to kind of see where they are in terms of world ranking, but also where they are in terms of form. I do believe that the more you play on Europe, you obviously get less world ranking points. So it is, does that come into it? Possibly not. In terms of major championships throughout Team Europe, we've got 9, whereas the US have doubled that with 18. So they are well ahead on that, and both teams have got 4 rookies each. So on paper, I feel that you could say the US are a stronger team. And on paper, that would be factually true as well. In terms of form, it's completely different. It's a 1 week, massive pressure, and it's going to be really interesting to see who holds up that pressure the best. Now, I asked you at the start of the video, I want you to give me your 3 top point scorers for Team Europe and Team USA. So for me, Team Europe, I'm going to be going with Hatton, Fleetwood and Jon Rahm. Jon Rahm, obviously, he's just a phenomenal player, world number 2, and yeah, he's going to be our stalwart for the week. He's a big fella, he's aggressive, he's really just I think he's a great leader of men. He's inspirational to a lot of the team. You've got Hatton, who, when I look at his golf swing, it doesn't look great, does it? But I tell you something, when he gets into some of these big events, particularly in some of the majors and the Rolex Series events, he brings it. So I'm hoping for a Ryder Cup, he's going to bring it again, because he is a super player, but he's one of those players where we need him on top form. Fleetwood's had a fantastic season. He's not got the win that he's deserved. He's been really close a couple of times on the PGA Tour, but not quite broken through that win barrier just yet this season. But again, he's been on form. I think he's been linked up with Butch Harmon for the majority of the season. Swing's amazing, ball striking's incredible. If he gets that putter hot this week, the US, you are in some serious danger. Those 3 are my top 3 European picks. For the US, I've gone for Cantlay, Scheffler and Ricky Fowler. I feel like Ricky Fowler's just massively come into form, probably since the Scottish Open back in July, and he's just been trending pretty nicely, maybe just before then as well, but kind of trending quite nicely throughout the summer. Played some amazing golf, some pretty big swing changes, and he's kind of come through some real kind of low points in his career, but he's definitely on that upward trajectory. In this sort of environment, this sort of energy, massively seems like, I don't know him obviously, it seems like it's something he would really thrive on. Just like with Jon Rahm, you can't not pick Scottie Scheffler, world number 1. His his greens in regulation, his stats are absolutely ridiculous. Like ridiculous. Tiger-esque stats. Unbelievable. Can't put for toffee. So it really does depend on what he does this week. Now, he's brought in Englishman. Phil, what are you doing? He brought in Phil Kenyon to help him out. And Phil is a top putting coach. One of the best in the world. And if he gets him rolling that rock quite nicely, gets the speed, gets him holding a few putts, Scotty Scheffler is going to be he's basically the US version of Jon Rahm for me. He looks like a bit of a, he's a big fella. Doesn't seem like he's got that kind of charisma and energy that kind of Rahm brings. So he brings that kind of leadership in a slightly different quality. Probably just being the fact that he's world number one also massively helps. And Cantley as well. Not a massive fan of watching Cantley, to be perfectly honest, but one of those players that just doesn't seem to go away. He just looks like one of those pests. And that's where I think you need a pest in your team. And I think Hatton is our European pest, and Cantley is going to be the US pest. He's slightly better. He's world number 4. He's phenomenal. He's a phenomenal golfer. Of course he is. They all are. But he does seem like the type that would just be a gritty performer, whether he's playing well or not. Now, I want you to get involved with this next little bit as well. Give me a fantasy match, okay? So from the two teams, I want you to give me your just like ideal 4-ball matchup. Okay, I've gone for Aberg, because I'm really interested to see what he brings. He looks like he's a young, energetic, charismatic, young Swede, amazing player, hits the ball absolute country mile. And I've paired him up with Jon Rahm. Jon Rahm, as I've mentioned before, just a big brute of a fella, smashes it, aggressive, again charismatic, and would be just giving some phenomenal energy to this Ryder Cup. And they're going to be going up against Spieth and Fowler. Both of those two top players, again, good friends, feed off the kind of real positive energy of each other. They won't hopefully have too much of it coming from the crowd because it's in Europe, but they'll definitely be feeding off the positive energy of each other. Spieth, again, gritty performer. He could be one of the top point scorers as well, to be perfectly honest, because he is just he's a nuisance. He's an amazing golfer. He'll hold putts from kingdom come. Like, he'll literally hold putts from 1,000 feet away. He's unbelievable, and he'll really kind of get Fowler going if they were paired together, and vice versa. Fowler would hit some incredible shots. So those two together as a team versus Aberg and Rahm, I would go for Aberg and Rahm to win 4 and 3 because I'm biased. But for me, that would be my fantasy matchup. So I wanted to get yours in the comment section below as well. I'm looking forward to it. Guys, strap yourself in. This is going to be a phenomenal weekend. We need to make sure that we bring this Ryder Cup back to Europe, because the last outing was an absolute disgrace and a bit of a shocker. We cannot be getting beat 18-9 again. I'm confident Team Europe are going to win. We're going to win. We might get to, maybe 16. What would that be? 16, 10 or whatever it would be, 12. But I think we're gonna get that Ryder Cup back into European territory. Guys, comment below, let me know what you think as well. Let's have a great week.